Check, check, check. You're not going deaf. I just didn't have my mic in the right space. Right, cool. I should have started off by getting my cup of coffee. It's a new day, it's a new dawn. Devoted to Lands. We just listened to an album by Forbidden. Was it Forbidden? First time I ever listened to him. And it was about time I did. I actually sent a couple of messages to my friends after. I got two friends who perform in the same band, who do pretty good for themselves, and I sent them a message along. One of them being the bassist, who I referenced in that because he was proper Forbidden head, and I said, yeah. Checked out Forbidden, and he not got back to me yet. He sent me a message by this morning saying what record did I listen to. So I've told him what record. See what he thinks of it. But yeah, he said good band, good band. With that being said, we're not on a thrash tip today. We're on to death metal. Although last time I checked this band out, there was they were erring on the thrash metal side of things with the skank beats and stuff. You know, a little more of a punk element. And I say that to say this, right? I've not heard this record at all, but I did have on CD back in the day a Bloodbath record, and that was I don't know which one it was. I can't remember, but I enjoyed it a lot. I've not heard this record, Nightmares Made Flesh. I'm a very... Is it still the same guy doing the vocals? Because I was a big fan of Opeth, and I really like the growls, the crispy, borderline guttural growls of this guy. I don't want to butcher his name by saying his name, because he's Swedish, right? Or something along the lines of that. So I don't want to do the guy a disservice by mispronouncing his name in a horrific manner. But from what I'm aware, he used to front this band. See, we got no comments. We do have some credits. We haven't got him in the credits here, but it was put out in 2004. So, actually, let's have a look, shall we, and see if we've got any related videos that which have the album I'm aware of. I don't know. Anyway, let's not waste your time. Let's have Cancer of the Soul on track number 1. Let's flip and go. This listen through goes out to Lance. He recommended it on the Patreon. If you like metal, yeah, I know this is King of the Pit TV, but generally speaking, we do have a broad range of, people who just want to discuss the music they love. So it's not always strictly metal music, but when we do come back to the metal music, the people enjoy the metal. So don't thank me, thank Lance. This was his recommendation. Let's flip and go. Come on. Actually, a lot more death metal than I assumed. And I know they're a death metal band, but let me tell you the album I heard back in the day and how I remembered that album. But then again, I think in comparison to some of the more traditional grey, gritty sounding death metal bands, they sounded, they had a lot more groove to them as opposed to just like, let's make a racket and just write some death metal riffs. One moment. Is this band still going, by the way? I assume it is. Um, Which album did I have? It's not even coming up. But it also says Bloodbath is a supergroup. Oh, I had the album Resurrection Through Carnage, I think. Does that make sense? I might have had two, actually. Because I remember it having, like, some degree of, like, Renaissance-esque artwork to it. Like, it had really cool artwork. But yeah, most definitely I had the album Resurrection Through Carnage. Now, when I searched on Google Bloodbath albums, it auto-corrected to Bloodbath albums with Mikhail Ackerfeld, which is the person I thought was really good. And let's see where he's at. So yeah, he was in that album. 2002 was that album. And he was also in Nightmares Made Flesh, apparently. So this is him now. Yo, some people every once in a while leave a comment, like, just come across my videos. Like, I've got so many videos on this channel now. Like, people just comment on some flipping Blink-182 video or some, you know, random video I forgot I did back in the day. And they'll say, stop talking so much. Get on with the music. And it's like, my brother, if you want to listen to the music, you should just put the song on. Let's go. Hard. I'm gonna go back on that because I want to tell you that one thing I think I'm not the biggest death metal head, so I don't know, you know, the deepest depths of death metal. So you'll have to tell me if you're a death metal fan. Is it like a reoccurring thing, like a reoccurring thing? Is it a staple of death metal? The whole like them heavy frequency, just low power chord. It's hard to explain without hearing it. You know what I mean? You hear it in Gojira, you hear it in Morbid Angel. If anything, I associate it with Morbid Angel. It's just a particular rhythmic element in association with that heavy metal influenced, I don't know, swag to it that I adore. It's one of my favourite parts of death metal. This bit. Hard. You don't hear that style in like hardcore music. It is death metal. Better. Better. It was hard. It was a good introduction, eh? It was a good introduction. More technical than I remember them being. Not like overtly tech deaf, but you know they're quite technical in some of the old finger wiggling on that fretboard there. We've got Brave New Hell coming up next. Yes, now, bless now. Don't forget to rest now. There's ROCKSTEADY about to get a cup of coffee at King of the Pit TV. Brave New Hell is the title of this track. Nightmares Made Flesh is the album. Bloodbath is the band. I'll be with you in uno secondo. Got my cup of coffee. Chilling Out, Brave New Hell is track number 2. Let's go. Ooh, let's kickstart that from the top. Come on. Ba-da-da-da. You know what? I don't think death metal works too well with choruses, purely because generally death metal is a little anti-melodic. You know, I mean, in the guitar lines, you can probably get a little bit of a twinkle here and there, but it tends to be more rhythmic, doesn't it? It's more rhythmic based, groove based, noise based, whatever. A little more emphasis on everything aside from the actual melody, and not only that, with it generally being like 99% counterculture, from the artwork to the logo to the band title to the actual sound of the music, the guitars, the drums, the vocals. The idea for him to just subscribe to you know, what we would consider pop structure for a second, it just feels abnormal. You know, it just doesn't work, in my opinion. Let's go. Boom, ba-da-da-da. Let's go. Good number, not a bad tune. Couple of good moments. This band is surprising. It's surprising because they'll jump on you and surprise you with a random riff of sorts, which sort of like you just didn't see it coming. There's some great grooves in this band. On the third song we're gonna do, Soul Evisceration. When I see you there, I'm gonna have a little bit of info in regards to why they call this band a supergroup. All right, let's see who else is in this band. I'll see you there, people. Yes, now bless now. Don't forget to rest now, people. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, signing in. So, on the last video, we're going through the Bloodbath album, Nightmares Made Flesh. It was recommended on the Patreon by Lance. Thank you very much. Well, we came across that the band was a supergroup on the last track, and I thought I'd just have a little look to see who's who. So, don't get me wrong, I couldn't be asked clicking into all the Wikipedia pages, so I just had a broad sort of overview. So obviously we got a couple of dudes from Opeth in here. Maybe not on this particular record, but over the years. We got someone from Catatonia, a band I've heard of but never looked into, never checked out Catatonia, and Paradise Lost, another band that I've never checked into, which I think would garner a couple of views if I were to check out Paradise Lost, because I do know they do have a good fan base. With that being said, that's track number 3, Soul Evisceration. Let's go. Come on. Diddly diddly da. Bow, bow, wow, wow. Hard. Hard. Wow, wow. That's a riff. Come on. Better. Bow, well, well. That was hard. That was hard. Soul Evisceration. What a riff there at the end. It just goes to show you, to please some people at least. I'm not speaking generally speaking, but to please some people, you don't need to show off. You just need to have, you know, some essence within that riff, and that riff had the essence of heaviness. Yes. Outnumbering the Day coming up next. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Nightmares Made Flesh is the album. Bloodbath is the band. Track 4 of 14 is the sequencing of this song. And Outnumbering the Day is, well, let's flipping go. Come on! Let's go. Let's go. Ba-da-da-da-da. That's a hooligan riff. Go. Get up. If this was in a hardcore setting, people would be kicking off. This was a hardcore band, and they just put like a free song out, a little EP out, a little demo out, and it had a track like this on. People would go crazy on that, man. Down. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know, if you're just joining me now, right, you might not know. I'm a bit hit or miss when it comes to death metal. You know, some death metal doesn't really tickle my pickle as much as other death metal bands, which I guess is like, you know, general across any genre. But I mean, the sound and the roots and the bassline behavior of you know, traditional death metal, I'm not really too bothered on that. But a band like this, I'm into. I like the sound of this band. I like the rhythms. I like the rhythms a lot. I like the production as well. Really good. We got Feeding the Undead coming up next. Yes, now bless now. Don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Feeding the Undead is track numero 5 of 14. This entire listen through goes out to my friend Lance, who recommended it on the Patreon. I say track 5 out of 14. We've got a couple of demos at the end here, which we'll listen to because they're separate to what we heard. It's not like an alternate version of a song we've already heard on the record, so we will do all 14 tracks. With that being said, Feeding the Dead, let's go. Let's go. Da da da. Come on. Catchy riff. Ba-da-ba. Says here 2004 Century Media Records. Yeah, it also says released on 2005 0713. Wonder why the wait. Ba-da-ba. Come on. Oh! Come on! They should have had that for another run around, I think. Very tasty, very tasty. I like the ideas of the multiple vocal lines here, but I thought the instrumental was a little bit dry at that point. But Nice little jam there at the end. Nice to hear a little bit of the groove with that bass line. It should throw a couple more bits in like that, to be honest. That's underrated. Nobody gives the bassist time to shine. It's always just got like over empowered guitars and stuff. But the people like a bass line, man. The people like a bass line, and the people like it when the bass has got time to shine. I don't want to hear a solo. I don't want to hear some guy shred on a bass, but I do want to hear the guy groove. I want to hear a bit of drum and bass, you know what I mean? A little bit of rhythm. Let the rhythm section shine. Which is, you know, quite a forgotten art in the realms of metal music, or at least some particular pockets of it. We've got Eaton coming up next. Yes, now bless, now don't forget to rest. Now, Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. Nightmares Made Flesh is the album. Bloodbath is the band. Eaton is the song. Not Eton as in the English university, but Eton. Is it in England? I don't know. Do you think I know anyone from Eton? Come on now. Let's go. Let's listen for Goes Out to Lands. Come on. Oh, they're going for a Cannibal Corpse theme with this one. Do you not think? It makes me think it's a cover. Hold on. Not a Cannibal Corpse cover, but like just a general cover, because it's coming with an alternate energy, man. My phone's just died. One moment. Hold on. Yeah, I didn't find any information on that. Maybe it's not, but somebody left a comment saying every metalhead loves this song. So if you're a metalhead and you don't actually like this song too much, then let me know. All right, and we can, express some reality within the universe. Oh! This is ignorant. This is hard, man. This is hard, man. Anyone who's come across this, who's just like searched for Bloodbath Eaton, blah blah blah, more than likely you're gonna see a lot of reactors who are just like, oh, the lyrics and all this and that. Bruh, I'm a different kind of guy. I don't give a fuck about the lyrics. I think the flow is really well, and obviously the vocal content is like key to making this a good tune. But yo, this picture as a whole that has been created through the instrumentals, let alone the vocal, bro, it all comes together so cohesively. This is really good. This is really good. And I was thinking, can't they just make every song sound like this? But you would get bored of this if it was every single song. But the fact they just hit you with this excellent display of songwriting, you know, the drummer is just driving. The drummer's not showing off, being technical, going out of their way. The drummer knows what the drummer needs to do. Just driving forward. Guitar lines. Do you know what I mean? And it's riff after riff after riff. So they came in with a riff and they thought that's heavy and all that. But then they thought we don't need to break this structure up by now creating this fast thrash bit or creating this other bit. They're just grooving from riff to riff to riff. Don't get me wrong, we got plenty of the track to go. I'm sure there'll be some changes, but I wouldn't complain if there wasn't. It sounds like someone who gets off on cannibalization though, right? Which there are people out there like that. Oh. I take back something I said earlier in this record. I said death metal don't need choruses. Bro, you've proved me wrong. Bloodbath has proven me wrong with that. Bloodbath has proven it. Wow. What an excellent display of songwriting this is. This is the best track on the record. I'd be so surprised if anything's better than this coming up. Not to disregard the album, but to just say this is a hit. I reckon the artwork could be better. I don't think too much to the artwork. Then again, the album artwork on the album I had, that was shit as well. Yeah, that was hard. That was really hard. That actually gave me tingles of how much I enjoyed that. It's flipping death metal music. That was really good. That was really good. That was really, really good. That's one of the best tracks I've heard on this channel. I'm excited. Yeah, that's ignorant, man. That is so good. That is so good. These bands are great, but they do themselves a disservice being in metal, because an act that could put something like that together on the hardcore circuit, it would be insane. You'd have people bouncing off of people's heads. It's so good. That was really good. We got Son of God coming up next. I will see you soon, alright? Yes, now bless now. Don't forget to rest now. Des ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV. Signing in. Son of God is the title of this one. Well, it's not the full title, but I don't want to get flagged, to be honest. And it is what it is. Like, if they say he was born, I don't know. I don't actually know the etymology and the actual meaning behind the first word on this, so I'm not going to try and sound smart. But with that being said, track 7 of 14, Nightmares Made Flesh. This is track number 7 of 14. This time, listener goes out to Lance. It might possibly be downhill from here, because track number 6, Eaten, was arguably like one of the best death metal songs I've heard in my life. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Where are we going with this? Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Not a bad tune, not a bad tune. Coming off of a high off of Eaton. Not gonna lie to you people. Year of the Cadaver Race coming up next. Let's keep going. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Pardon me, people. Year of the Cadaver Race, track number 8 of 14. We're listening to Bloodbath tonight. Nightmares Made Flesh. Let's jump straight in. It's a riff. Ooh. They're riffing. It's like D-beat rock and roll. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Well. Them little ghost notes there on the snare drum. Tight. Heavy. Don't really like the way they blend into that riff, or lack of blend, should I say. Come on. Death metal. Slayer. Slayer. Banana. Ba-da-da-da. Pretty good. Pretty good. Year of the Cadaver Race. Some good moments in that. Some good moments in that. Then we blend into a synth, which might blend into the Ascension. The Ascension might be an interlude, potentially, given, you know, we just heard that at the end of that track. And, you know, the Ascension seems to be the title you would call an interlude. But let's keep going. We've got track number 9 coming up next. Yes, now, bless now. Don't forget the rest now. Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Blasting through this album at this point. Bloodbath, Nightmares Made Flesh. Track 9 of 14 is entitled The Ascension. This entire listen through goes out to Lance, who recommended this on the Patreon. Let's go. Come on. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-no, wow, wow, na, 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 no. That was really good. That was really good. I've got some thoughts to reel off here. You need to tell me if I'm just projecting myself on the metal community and my own personal sort of, perspective, or whether this actually truly is a thing. The metalheads I know, right? Bloodbath isn't a band people really reference, I've never come across anybody who really listens to Bloodbath. The numbers say otherwise. This band gets views, but I don't know anyone who really gets into Bloodbath to the degree where they're just like, yeah, Bloodbath are a great band, they're one of my favourites, blah blah blah. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about, which, like I said, I'm going to project myself onto this at the moment because these are my own personal beliefs and reasons. I think the idea, that at least I don't know if this is generally how this band is marketed or how people come across, but I came across this band because I thought it was cool that the guy from Opeth was fronting like a death metal band. So that's what got me onto it. But then it became novelty because of that, because the band isn't Opeth, and Opeth are so mature and professional. Not to say this isn't a mature sounding band, but Opeth are just they are superb. Absolutely superb, and so intricate and artistic and creative in the way they do things, that when you hear this in relation, it becomes very primitive, which I don't see primitive to be a bad thing. I like primitive music, ignorant music, but in relation to what you've heard, you're just like, all right, this is a side project, and the side project is never as good as the main project. Now, furthermore, it's a supergroup, and you would think supergroups were supergroup should sell incredibly well, but I don't think much to the idea of a supergroup. I think it's a bit corny. I like the idea of a bunch of dudes in bands coming together and creating a band. I think that's cool. But the idea of coining it and adding this additional label onto it, that it's a supergroup, I think it's a bit too glitz and glamour for metal music, at least. And then moving onwards from that, this is a very polished sounding record, and I wonder if that does it a disservice. It's a really good sounding record, but in the realms of death metal and so forth. So those three things in particular, what came to mind, and yeah, I don't know anyone who's mad on Bloodbath. That's all I've got to say. But with that being said, we've got Draped in Disease coming up next. I'll see you there. Yes, now bless now. Don't forget to rest now. There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. Continuing onwards, we are listening to Bloodbath today. Nightmares Made Flesh is the record. Track 10 of 14 is entitled Draped in Disease. Let's jump in. Let's go. Come on. Some good lead guitar there. Very tasteful. That rhythm guitar is so heavy, man. Boom. What we tuning to? Is this C standard, drop C tuning maybe? Or is it lower? Could it be B? I don't think it's as low as A. Might be B tuning, you know. Panic chords. Good number. That wasn't it was a well-placed song because you couldn't have that as the first song with that interlude section, but the lead guitars on there were really good. Very, very tasteful, good phrasing. Let's keep on moving. We've got Stillborn Savior coming up next, which is a pretty hard title, to be fair. I'll see you there. Yes, now bless. Now don't forget the rest. Now ignore the background noise. My kettle's just on. Of course it is. We're going to serve up a nice warm cup of coffee. Just allow that to go off before we run into the next track, which is going to be Stillborn Savior, track 11 of 14. We're listening to Nightmares Made Flesh by the band Bloodbath. Alright, it's been an enjoyable experience. I actually sent the track Eaten to one of my mates. I'm not surprised it's like their more popular song, because the moment I searched Bloodbath into Spotify, essentially it was the first track that came up. That's not a surprise. Stillborn Savior, let's go. Come on. Come on. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. Da 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 da. Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? Hard. 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 Ooh. Ooh. Dum. Incredible. Stillborn Savior. Ignorant at the end there. The rhythms can be incredibly heavy on this. Let's finish this off and then we'll go into the 2 demos. We've got Blood Vortex coming up. Yes, now bless, now don't forget to rest now. This entire listen through has gone out to my good friend Lance via the Patreon, who recommended we check some bloody metal out, and most definitely we have done. Nightmares Made Flesh is the record. Track 12 is Blood Vortex. This is the last song on the produced record. From there, we've got 2 demos on this. Da, 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 da. Come on now. Let's go. Ba, 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 ba. Hard, hard, hard. You know what? Double kick drums. Are underrated, I would say, in metal. Double kick is a metal thing, but I would say the double kick is underrated. I would say the double kick is underrated. What do you think to that? What do you think to that? That was the last track on the studio-produced record. We got 2 demos, Breeding Death and Ominous Blood Vomit, coming up next. I'm going to go get myself a cup of coffee because I need one. And with that being said, I will see you soon. Yes, now bless, no, don't forget to rest now. Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. You know how it is by now. Bruh, back in the day when I started this channel, I must have been so many videos in, like 50 videos or something. I said, you know who it is. And then someone commented and says, you got 20 subscribers, what you on about? You know who it is. Get back! This was Breeding Death, first of the 2 demos on the end of this record, Nightmares Made Flesh. This entire list through has gone out to my friend Lance, who recommended this on the Patreon. Let's go. It's nice to hear him with a little different, little less polish on him now. We can hear some proper trad sounds here. Come on. Bro, this is a sick sound because I love it when bands like these do demos, or you hear the demos of bands, because you can picture what it would be like if it was put out as a demo in your local community from a local band, you know, who doesn't have the money and the backing and the signatures on the contract to get funded for a big proper release. So they just have a jam out, they put their songs onto record one way or another, and they release it. That's why I love hearing demos, as long as they're, you know, listenable. Let's go. Come on. Man, now. Come on. That was Breeding Death. It was nice to hear a less than polished, bit of work from the band. I wonder, were these two songs put on a prior record, or were these two songs put on a later record, or were these just two demos of songs they didn't end up releasing, put on as B-sides at a later time? You tell me. So I sent my friend Eaton, which is on this record. I said, "You ever heard this?" And he responded with, "Bad act." And I said, "Why?" And he says, "Swedish death metal, poor scene." So that's a few alternate words here from someone who's into death metal, but from what I'm aware, is a little bit more into the Americans, into the Florida circuits and whatnot. I like Swedish death metal, by the way. I like the punk infused sounds and the energy that derives from that part of the world and the death metal they produced. I like that a lot. I like the guitar tones as well. Let's finish off. We got Ominous Blood Vomit. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Last song of the record, or last song beyond the record, because we're listening to the demos now, is Ominous Blood Vomit. All right, nice brief one to finish at 3 minutes 38. This listen through goes out to Lance, who recommended this on the Patreon. Let's go. Oh. Come on. Let's go. Heavy metal. Bap, 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 bap. Let's go. This bit's hard, man. La, da, da, da. It was hard. It was hard. Boom, boom, no, no, no. That was a groove, man. That was a groove. I wanted to get my roller skates on for that riff. Not gonna lie to you, people. Not gonna lie to you. That was a roller skating rhythm. That was an ice skating rhythm. Not on the ice rink with that one. Let's polish this off. I'm gonna give you a final overview. I'm gonna rate this record out of 10, and I'll see you there. All right, hold on tight. Yes, now bless now. Don't forget the rest now, people of the world, people of all creeds, all cultures, all races, coming together at King of the Pit TV. All right, I'm like a modern day. I don't know who promoted peace and harmony, and preferably didn't get killed. I don't know. I'm not gonna speak that into existence. They've all got problems, haven't they? I think that philanthropy, or whatever you call it, is more than always a guise to disguise the duality, the polarization of the negative they bring into the world. But this isn't a conspiracy channel or a critical thinking channel. It's not a channel based on realism. It's a channel based on the arts, creative endeavors, and death metal. Bloodbath is the band we listen to. Nightmares Made Flesh was the record. And Patreon was where it was recommended to me by my very good friend Lance. I appreciate you to the heavens and back, because I can't remember the last time I've had to do a record on this channel that hasn't been a recommendation from people who love to engage with me about music. And it's funny because you get speaking to these people and you become accustomed to everyone's taste. And Lance is a metalhead. No flipping doubt about that. So if you're a metalhead and you enjoy Bloodbath, let alone metal as a whole, don't thank me, thank my friend here. So with that being said, we listened to 14 tracks. The album, or the studio produced record, has 12, but this playlist, the official Bloodbath playlist, so it should be legitimate, came with 2 demos, alright? So a couple of B-sides on here, or what you may perceive as B-sides, that's what I'd call it, just as a, it might not be a legitimate, factual thing to call these things, but it is what it is to me. It was a good record. It was a very well-produced record. It was a well-performed record, and it ticks a lot of boxes I like in death metal. So my background with this band is I had the earlier record on CD, back when I was buying CDs, so some time back now. And I enjoyed the sound. I did enjoy the sound. I enjoyed the sound because it sounded a little, what I considered thrash. It sounded more thrash, and by that I meant some more skank beats as opposed to just noisy, heavy metal influenced, grungy death metal, if that makes sense. As my friend said, who I texted during this to ask his opinion on Bloodbath, he said it has a Swedish sound to it, and I'm up for that. I like that sound personally. I can't listen to too much of that sound. The oversaturated guitars and, the consistency of the energy does get a little bit draining for me. But as far as death metal is concerned, I would argue it's my favourite style of death metal. I do like it a lot because of its indirect, if not direct, relationship with punk rock music. Swedish have got a great sound generally in metal and in punk rock music, with D-beat and so forth. So I don't mind the band sound. Now, moving onwards, we listened to this for the first time. I've never heard any of the music on this record. I've not listened to Bloodbath since I was a teenager. I thought it was good. Plenty of different elements, a lot of great riffs, a lot of great grooves. And that track Eaten caught me off guard. That was one of the best metal tracks I've heard in a very long time. Lyrically, the songwriting was good, as far as the phrasing and whatnot is concerned. When I heard him come in with the vocals and the riff from the get-go, I thought this is definitely influenced by Cannibal Corpse. I thought it was a very Cannibal Corpse influenced track, But as we continued listening to it, I just thought, man, this is ignorant, like primitive riffs, just heavy, man. Very heavy, very well written. That song by itself bumps the album up 1 if not 2 points, in all honesty. Very special tune, that. Very special tune. I don't know if it was just down to me sort of losing a little bit of steam as we got through the record. I felt like the record from there on wasn't as quality as the first half of the record. You know, they've sort of thrown their, other songs at the end, as opposed to their better songs at the front. That's the way it felt to me. But it was a very consistent record, a lot of good ideas. Cool lead guitars, very tasteful. I like the drummer a lot. I don't know if it's Opeth's drummer they've got in on this one. I think it is, because from Wikipedia they told me that it's been like start to finish. But just driving in a rock and roll fashion, just driving the music forward. I like that in a drummer. I like that. I don't want to hear no time signatures and technicality, and I don't need that. I like drummers with impact and power and force to drive the music forward, to keep your toe tapping, to keep your head banging. Do you know what I mean? And I've just had a chime in, right? Because I asked my friend what he thought of Swedish Death. Well, not Swedish, but about Bloodbath. And he said they were a bad act. And I said, why? And he said, Swedish death metal, poor scene. That's his personal opinion. He likes Florida stuff and whatnot. And I responded saying he sounded shook. And he responded to that saying, nah, Swede death, total shit. Apart from Crematory. I've never listened to Crematory. Never come across Crematory before. So who knows? Maybe we'll move on to a bit of Crematory if they've got a market, But with that being said, I liked this record. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I would give it a 7.5 if I felt like it didn't fall off a little bit by the end of it. Alongside that, it's a great big long project, but I'd say just do 10 tracks as opposed to 12. I think, it sort of outstayed. It just outstayed its welcome a little bit. I would have concentrated it into a 10 track as opposed to a 12, and yeah, that would have bumped it to a 7.5 to me. Call me critical if you just joined this channel, but you'll get used to these ratings. That's actually quite good. It means I enjoyed it, and I did enjoy it. And on that note, I'm signing out, people. One love to you all. Thank you.